Some of y'all have been asking us what our favorite metal albums are and how we got to where we are today.
We've been at it for about 20 years as metal musicians, and these are some of our most influential of all time.
We're going to kick it off with a saucy proggy band, Opeth, Blackwater Park. Opeth's ultimate masterpiece, Blackwater Park, is undeniably the album that catapulted them into the spotlight and won me as a devoted fan. With Steven Wilson of Porcupine Tree at the producer's helm, this album truly captures Opeth's raw and blistering essence, setting the stage for their signature sound in all of their future releases, yes, even including their cleaner and proggier records. Among the standout tracks that make me lose my goddamn mind, The Leper Affinity, Bleak, Harvest, and the titular Blackwater Park are all stunning examples of one, why I love this band and love metal, and two, why I had to play guitar. From the opening of the album with The Leper Affinity to the ending, those hauntingly ominous sounds paving the way for a thunderous explosion of fast drumming by Martin Lopez, those incredible bass lines by Martin Mendez, and the mesmerizing guitar work of Peter Lindgren. Of course, also Michael Ackerfeld's death growls and wondrous singing. Everything just hits you with a visceral punch. It's just one of those albums where the band has no idea the magic that they were making when it was written. It is no wonder that this record in particular is hailed as metal's all-time greatest for the band.
Anathema, the silent enigma. This was on my original list. Spoiler alert, this is a revisited list for those of you who've been around long enough. The silent enigma was on there. I have a really hard time challenging this record. There are just a lot of fond memories that I have regarding Anathema, particularly when I was about 17, 18 years old. I was listening to Judgment like fucking constantly, dude. I thought that album was peak Anathema. That was until I heard the silent enigma.
Beneath an open sky, sibilant cries of youth dying.
Wow, I was entranced, dude. I love all the imperfections on this record. It's like a journey through loss and grief, and you're swaddled in this cold, heavy blanket. The sorrow is palpable on this album. It has just stuck with me after all these years. For this iteration of our favorite albums of all time, I wanted to go with albums that meant something to me personally and really inspired me as a guitarist and a songwriter. This album proved to me that as long as you have emotional substance in your art, put that shit out there, warts and all.
Let's scream for Cradle of Filth, Cruelty and the Beast. You know, I absolutely loved this record when I discovered it in the early 2000s as a wee little Brandon and Jinkos. You can make fun of me, it's fine, they're coming back. But it wasn't without its production flaws. I'm actually super excited that I get to talk about this record and the fact that they remixed and remastered it recently. It's such a random thing, but it sounds so fucking awesome. It was originally released in 1998, and this album propelled the band into the stratosphere of macabre theatricality led by the enigmatic Danny Filth.
Nevertheless, I'm smarter. I'm a genius. No, several geniuses.
Now, after 2 decades, we witness the barbarous return of Cruelty and the Beast, Remistressed, a gift from the unholy children of the night themselves.
The children of the night. What sweet music, Dagmar.
The remixed version blasts us with newfound sonic grandeur, breathing new life into the album's flawed brilliance. Modern technology works its magic here, turning the dull thuds into roaring explosions, as 13 Autumns and a Widow now detonates like a barrel of holy water hitting Dracula's coffin.
Bottoms up.
The album's overall sound has been masterfully tweaked here, striking a balance between honoring the original spirit and eliminating its weaknesses. The result is an even more colossal and contemporary sound that weaves an enchanting tapestry of sonic heft. So my friends, draw yourself a nice bloodbath and get in and revel in the magnificence that is this revitalized gem. This is Cradle of Filth at their most potent yet, in my opinion, and it's a thrilling testament to their enduring power in this particular record. It's a gem, and it's an all-time favorite.
Metallica and Justice for All. I can't deny what Metallica did to me, brother. Some people call it trauma, but I call it leveling up. This band was my biggest influence, and to deny how much their writing and sound inspired me would just be a disservice to myself and my roots as a player. Yes, the production on this record is kind of shit. Okay, I get it. We love our bass tones in your fucking face. I want to hear every fret movement on every string. Jason Newsted, he was a welcome addition to this band, but they really did him dirty with this mix. Shame.
Shame.
The progressive nature of this record is what really stuck with me after all these years. Those memorable syncopations.
Don't you remember when you were little? How you and Bill Harper used to string a wire between the two?
The wild transitions and time signatures, the goosebump-inducing solos. Dude, it's all here in spades. It stands alone in Metallica's discography. Easily one of my favorites. I always hear Injustice for All every time I'm writing a riff.
This one's not really that surprising, especially for people in our generation. Agalloch, the Mantle. Agalloch defies easy classification, and attempting to label them with a single genre would be a disservice to their extraordinary sound. Their influences span across atmospheric black metal, post-metal, folk metal, ambient, and neo-folk, merging into a unique blend of artistic woodsy wonder. For devoted Agalloch fans, the album stands as their magnum opus for a lot of people, epitomizing everything that the band represents. The Mantle sees the band expanding their horizons beyond black metal and embracing folk elements and expanding into ambient sections that enhance the album's hauntingly beautiful and melancholic atmosphere. John Hamm's vocal prowess in particular is unique as hell for the time too. His raspy, cold shrieks perfectly matching the album's icy yet woodland demeanor. The production on this record is classic too, man. Dare I say perfect in every aspect, down to its imperfections.
Perfection.
It's been attempted to be replicated so many times. Band try to emulate that sound that's natural and immersive, and they just missed the mark in my opinion. The Mantle truly holds roots in Agalloch's legacy, and it's kind of crazy to think how important that album is to so many of us. There's a reason why whenever we go camping in particular, this album has to go on in the background. To me, it's a masterpiece that transcends genre boundaries, that makes life just a little bit better in all regards. Although I love many of their albums, Agalloch's artistic prowess reaches an apex here, and to this day, this record is a massive influence on my songwriting. I can't live without it.
Nechochwen, Heart of Akamon. This album comes as my first replacement from the original video. Sorry to put Paradise Lost on the wayside, but I am pretty confident, man, that Heart of Akamon proved to me that you can find the perfect balance of folklore, mythology, and history matched with an incredibly unique, vicious form of blackened death doom. While other albums that I love speak to me, this album sings to me from the highest precipice, bro. It's so fucking enchanting and captivating with its moments of soaring, clean chants and folk instruments that just take you into another world. We had a really great opportunity to chat with Aaron. You should go check that video out if you haven't already. He's a fantastic guy with a love for music, metal, and the story of his people. Y'all have been going nuts for Black Braid, but Nechochwen has been doing this shit for a decade plus. If you haven't scoped it yet, Heart of Akamon, incredible. Kanawa Black, incredible. Check out their old stuff too. It's neo-folk, but still fucking slaps.
Death, Symbolic, this album, man. This is where I started to take guitar playing seriously. I told myself, I'm gonna spend a summer and learn every goddamn song from Symbolic on rhythm guitar. And you know what? I did it. And fuck, did this level up my songwriting and playing abilities in a whole bunch of different ways. Some of my best memories, too, as a young adult were playing these songs with our pals in the jam space. You know, I love every Death record for different reasons, but Symbolic is my favorite of the entire catalog. Sure, it's not the shiniest, most true death metal album, but the accessibility and my memories associated with this record cannot dethrone it from the top spot for me. Unlike other death metal bands at the time, I love that this album went into existential horror, embracing that exploration of the terrors of the mind, instead of just being pissed off and caveman beating everything in sight.
Smash, smash, smash!
Although I do love that too, so. The amazing playing of Jazz Hands Metal Feet drummer Gene Hoglan and killer bass compliments of Kelly Conlon, and obviously the godly guitar playing of Bobby Coble. The songwriting is just devastating how good it is here. Embracing those weird, spacier textures alongside the killer death metal riffing made Symbolic downright mesmerizing for me. It was accessible, catchy as fuck, but just ridiculously well written in all regards. To me, Death Symbolic is not just another death metal album. It's a young visionary's relentless pursuit of evolution and boundary pushing. Unlike bands seeking wider appeal, Symbolic embraces graceful growth within the genre, sounding like a celebration of artistic progression. It's just an unbounded well of inspiration for me, and I will always love this record.
Alice in Chains, Dirt. And so for all you haters out there saying that ain't metal, well, you're really splitting hairs. My first list had Rapture, Songs for the Withering, and I was thinking to myself, has that album really, as much as I fucking love it, has that album really inspired me as a musician, as a songwriter, as an audio engineer, like some of these other albums? And ultimately the answer was no. So I replaced it right here with Alice in Chains, Dirt, and I'm gonna tell you what it does for me right after this clip. Dude, this whole fucking band has inspired me. From Cantrell's distinct bluesy guitar playing to Sean Kinney's intricate, very precise drumming, you get the full gambit of how impressive this band can be on this album.
Ain't found
That song that you heard right there is the de facto anthem for my 0331 machine gunner brethren and anyone who's ever had to lug a belt-fed weapon. Dude, this album just transcends our fucking culture. And from front to back, it just rips, dude. The pacing is brilliant. When I first heard this as a young teenager, I was awestruck. I would spin it for days at a time, trying to memorize every lick, every riff, every vocal harmony, try to figure out where they were, like octavely and shit. Dude, like trying to make myself better because I saw where they were and I was like, holy fuck, dude, I want to get to that. Yeah, brilliant, highly influential album right here.
Typo Negative, October Rust. For those of you who have followed us for a long time, it is no secret that Typo Negative is my favorite metal band of all time. You're not metal. Fuck you. I don't care. October Rust by Typo Negative defies typical metal conventions by offering haunting and gorgeous melodies that make every day feel like Halloween. And weird, that's my favorite holiday. While the genre classifications of goth metal, power synth, and pop goth have been thrown around, none truly capture the mesmerizing whirlwind of melodic sounds found in this album. And that's why I love it so much. Sludgy guitars and programmed drums replace metal's usual aggression while haunting piano and synthesizers just dominate everywhere. Half of the songs exhibit candid and mesmerizing heaviness and strong melodies, while the other half are sweeping, haunting epics. No one is really alike, yet this record flows beautifully and it's amazing to listen to. Peter Steele shows remarkable skill, too, at blending horror. His ability to write anthemic and atmospheric tunes, which span a massive creative spectrum that somehow feel like one part Graveyard and the other part Brooklyn, blows my mind still today. This album showcases many tracks that exemplify the band's ethereal peak, and it fucking rules. Produced by bandmates Steele and Silver, October Rust represents their high achievement as producers, surpassing even its acclaimed predecessor, Bloody Kisses, although great record. Steele's reverb-drenched vocals and Gregorian chants evoke a sense of medieval evil and gothic beauty. His sound is completely iconic today. October Rust is not just a gothic album, it's a work of art that forever encapsulates Typo Negative's unique spirit and lyrical genius. In the world of gothic metal, there will never be another band like Typo Negative or another record quite like October Rust. Many have tried, and so far, no one has fucking come close.
Misery Index, Heirs to Thievery. This is my last replacement, and this is for the death metal category. Our last video, I had The Fathomless Mastery by Bloodbath, and yeah, that is a great, fantastic, amazing death metal album, but Heirs to Thievery is very, very near and dear to my heart. I remember we saw this band, I think it was at like the Palladium or something like that, right around when Discordia came out. And I was like, dude, this is fucking nuts. Fast forward a few years later, and Heirs to Thievery dropped like a fucking J-Dam from 30,000 feet. Dude, this section in the Carrion Call, yeah, just get ready. Dude, yeah, this record slashes your fucking guts open, spills them out in front of you, and leaves you wallowing in economic despair. Seriously, man, front to back, this album is fucking violent. It reminds me of what I love about death metal, the viciousness, the brutality, and cutting-edge nature of what extreme music is. Misery Index forever! Misery Index forever!
So that's our favorite metal records ever. Leave some of your favorites down in the comments below and check out some of our other videos right here.
Go with the gods, Forgemates. The Blackwater Park awaits.